Hi everybody, welcome to the Money Man. I've got Zelím Nel. You've been called more names than a Loftus fan at Newlands. But I'm going to call you Z,
cool.
Z-Dog, in the house. For South Africans, we're going to be talking about something a little bit uncomfortable. We're going to be talking about professional sports, and in particular the NFL. Super Bowl Sunday. Thank God for ESPN coming back into the country.
Massive relief.
Yeah, giving everybody a bit of a taste of American sports.
Yep.
And there's no bigger spectacle of sports in the world, I don't care what anybody says, than the Super Bowl Sunday. The slots on halftime shows go for millions of dollars. You've got two quarterbacks, one that's paid 250 million rand a year, and another one that's paid R500 million rand a year. You're just talking about a different world from what
completely different, yeah.
And the thing that gets the only thing that gets me a little bit upset about South Africans is when they start taking a shot at the pansy-like players that play in the NFL and need padding. Well, when you're hurtling yourself around a football field at those speeds, you'd be dead if you didn't have it.
Yeah. So I mean, we spoke about this before, Kev. I did some coaching of rugby in the States, and a lot of those football guys came over.
Where did you do the coaching?
I was at Clemson University for a little bit,
yeah.
And those guys play rugby like they play football. They don't realize they don't have this padding, and I can tell you, those football players, the way that they launch themselves into tackles is nothing like it is in rugby. You know, rugby, you want to wrap the guy up and bring him down. In football, you're a missile. You want to hurt him.
Yeah.
It's a missile.
Well, NFL teams used to have bonuses.
Bounty gate.
Yeah, bounty bonuses for hurting and taking out players.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've got Super Bowl Sunday. We've got, without doubt, Tom Brady. Let me just go on it for him for a second. He's not bad looking. He's a physical specimen. I don't know anybody from New York that wouldn't allow him to date their daughter. He is the old American guy.
Yeah.
He's married Gisele Bundchen, who is absolutely stunning. You know, one of the most beautiful women in the world. She attends all his games. She didn't marry him for the money. She's got $400 million worth of her own net worth.
Wow.
That's crazy. And you know, you've got the all-American boy, a beautiful woman. I mean, not beautiful. Beautiful is an insult. I mean, she's just scorching. Beautiful children. I mean, he's got it all.
Everything.
I'm pretty happy with my life, but if I could trade with one guy,
right,
it'd be Tom Brady.
But what's amazing is that this guy's done what he's done. He has what he has, and he still somehow has the drive.
At 43.
At 43, to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. He is without doubt the GOAT.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time. I'm not sure it'll ever be surpassed. What he's done is beyond. He was drafted, I think, 199, which means that you imagine all these teams taking, that means he must have went in about the 8th or 9th.
He went in the 6th round.
6th round.
I think he was the 6th or 7th quarterback taken.
So 30-odd teams passed him up 5 times and a half.
Yeah.
And then the New England Patriots took him.
Right.
It's unheard of. It's an incredible story. And
remember, he wouldn't have started. I mean, Belichick had no plans to start this kid. If Drew Bledsoe didn't get knocked out of that season opener in whatever it was, 2001, we might never have heard of Brady. And I mean, that's sort of his background. So when he was at Michigan State, when he arrived there at college, he was the 7th.
Big college.
It's massive. He was the 7th choice quarterback. He was 7th on the depth chart. It took him 2 years to climb up to get the starting job. So he's used to that sort of role.
Yeah, putting that into perspective, to accomplish what he's accomplished. He doesn't have 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. He's got 6 Super Bowl rings.
It's crazy.
6.
Only one other player has more than 4. That's Charles Haley. He played defensive end for the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Won 5 Super Bowls. But everybody else is on 4 or less. Joe Montana was considered the GOAT for many years. Yeah. Some people still rate. He won 4 out of 4 Super Bowls. He had 4 rings.
Yeah.
Brady overtook him like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's beaten, this is his 10th Super Bowl appearance.
Right.
Now, in terms of the competitiveness to get to a Super Bowl final, I mean, there's 30, how many teams are there?
32 teams.
32 teams in the NFL compared to the Curry Cup. So comparing it to winning Curry Cup, there's only 4 teams, 4.5 teams in South Africa, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
You know, so the odds of coming out of that and doing what he's done are off the scale. So he is the GOAT. Unfortunately for him, he's playing the baby goat.
Correct.
In Patrick.
I mean, that's a good way of putting it. I mean, he's incredible for a youngster.
He is unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. And we've got these two. We've got this world colliding. We've got a Super Bowl played at a home field for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's going to have any impact on the outcome of the game?
I mean, it has to. I mean, home field advantage has got to count for something. It does in the NFL. For the first time this season, they're going to have 25,000 fans.
Which is a third of the stadium's capacity.
Right. So, I mean, they're going to have a crowd there. Most of these teams this season have played without crowds, which affects how you do your calls, your ability to communicate. You can have a crowd in there making a hell of a noise, potentially for the home team.
Yeah.
I saw Bruce Arians say he hopes they make a lot of noise when his team's on defense to try and sort of disrupt what Kansas City's doing.
Unfortunately for him, which is obvious to me, one, there's an equal allocation of tickets to both teams.
Right.
So there's not going to be that
a home crowd.
Home field.
Right.
Advantage. They've given 7,500 tickets free of charge to the healthcare workers, frontline workers in the COVID relief.
Okay.
What a great thing to do for the NFL. But they won't be allowed to fire the cannons, which is a huge tradition in Tampa Bay when they score.
Right.
From that big boat.
Yeah.
So they can fire them.
I remember that from the Gruden,
They can fire them when they're coming onto the field, but they usually fire them all the time. I mean, you'd think you were in Beirut.
Yes.
When you're in Tampa Bay and Brady this year. But, it's going to be special. I think that negates the home field advantage for me.
Okay.
Kansas City went into Tampa Bay in Week 12 and beat them 27-24.
Yep.
Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns. His passer rating was 132, which is off the charts. But they only won by 3 points.
And they took a big early lead in that game.
Yeah. Kansas City has that sort of mentality of coasting.
Right.
So to me, that 24 flatters Tampa Bay.
Right.
So let me ask you, how did you get into NFL football? I mean, you're a rugby. You've been with Independent.
Yeah.
You've been with
All Out Rugby.
All Out Rugby.
Yeah. I as a kid, for some reason, somebody
You're
put.
Still a kid.
I'll take that. Yeah. So somebody put the Super Bowl on Mnet in the early days. I'm talking like 1987, 88.
Someone probably tripped over the controls.
It was a complete accident, and that was the period when Mnet started sort of sponsoring some gridiron through, I think Spur was the main sponsor. And then at that time, in the late 80s and early 90s, they actually had a league in Joburg. The Randburg Giants and, the Sequoia Flay, whatever, I don't know. They had all these teams up there. And one of the guys who ran one of those teams owned a company called Pink Software. And so they actually sponsored the broadcast of the Super Bowl in 1991.
Okay.
And they did their whole own broadcast and everything.
No way.
Yeah, so I happened to catch one of the first Super Bowls, and then I caught that one. I've still got the VHS tapes of those games, and it was just one of those things, Kev, you know how it is. When you see something and you just know there's synergy there, it just clicks for you. I was hooked.
Well, how was it? Did Buffalo play in that final?
So it was that heartbreaker with the wide right. Yeah, it was the wide right.
So that is really that's really unfortunate to have to become a Buffalo Bills fan.
The first of 4 lost Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's what they're known for.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
Anyway, so you're a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah. How did you get into football? Who do you support?
I love the Kansas City Chiefs. When I was in high school in Canada, they had a player on the Chiefs team, a guy named Joe Delaney. Held records for years with the Chiefs. Only played 2 seasons.
The running back.
The running back, yeah. AFC Rookie of the Year. And I didn't know anything about football at this time. I didn't even follow it. But I read an article in the Toronto Star about this guy going into a pond to save 2 drowning children.
Right.
And he couldn't swim. And I just thought, what a selfless sacrifice.
What a hero.
And so the die was cast, and I've been a Kansas City Chiefs fan since 1983.
Wow.
And a long-suffering one.
Yeah.
Until last
year. Right.
So Mahomes, to me, he's just, we'll get into the stats and some stuff later on.
Yeah.
But he's just
freak.
He's just a freak. He can throw the ball 70 yards. He's the clean-cut All-American guy as well. A bit more brash, and his generation. He's a millennial, I think. So,
yeah.
Each generation changes. Whereas Brady's more reserved and completely. Well, you got Mahomes, but he's still a clean-cut kid.
Yeah.
He makes $50 million a year, signed a 10-year contract for $500 million. He's endorsed by everybody. I mean, the money that guy makes is outrageous. And I think he just bought a share in the Kansas City Royals.
That's right. Yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
So these guys, these players, they're brands. I mean, Mahomes will eclipse Brady in terms of brand because we live in a world now where these guys manage their brands meticulously.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen on Monday morning at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, I think it actually kicks off 1:30 out. I think 1:30ish our time. So Monday morning. Yeah, maybe that's just the sort of pre-game and the hype and the flyovers and the.
You know when they say a boxing match starts at
yeah.
at 7:30, you're ordering breakfast.
Right.
Bootlegger?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's being billed rightly so as potentially a real thriller of a Super Bowl. Super Bowl historically, until the last 10 years or so, were generally blowouts. You had lots of blowouts.
Like a lot of finals in many sports, certainly rugby.
Yes.
Football always the same, flatter to deceive.
Yeah. I think the conference system does that, because you've got the champion of the AFC plays the champion of the NFC. So there's a chance you could be the champion of a weak conference. Yeah. You come up against a great side and just get absolutely blattered.
Yeah, which was what happened with the likes of Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
In the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I remember the 49ers destroying the Broncos one season. The Seahawks killed Peyton Manning's Broncos one season. I think it was 48-3 or something crazy. So
no, they were blowouts. I think you're right. It's certainly gotten better.
Definitely way closer.
And the bookies would agree. I mean, the betting on this game, I bet through Betway, is 3.5.
Okay.
Plus 3.5 for Tampa Bay and minus 3.5 for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And there's one guy, what's his name? Mattress Mac.
Yep.
Got a few less dollars under his mattress last night. He put we're 55 million rand bet on Tampa Bay.
Thought he'd just have a little punt.
Yeah, just a he's obviously a gazillionaire, but he's put $3.5 million on 3.46. I don't want to get. Don't send me any emails or whatever. $3.46 million
on the Bucks.
On the Bucks at plus 3.5.
Wow.
Which means if Tampa Bay don't lose by 4 or more, whether they win or only lose by 1, 2, or 3, he's
in the money.
Just cashed in a bit of Tom.
Not a bad place to be there. You cashed in a bit of Tom. I see what you did there.
Pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's crazy. The guys are rolling at that sort of level. I mean, you can imagine how he'd be watching that game. Yeah. Probably a little bit, tight-knuckled and really watching every call from the refs. But that's the level that game operates at, as people come in with, bets of that sort of magnitude.
Well, I guess that it takes $3.5 million to make him not feel numb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we got Mahomes against Brady, goat versus baby goat.
Yep.
If I gave you $3.46 million, where would you be putting your money?
Probably in the bank. But if I had to bet it on one of the two teams, for me, I think you have to go Bucks. I mean, Brady has been to this game 9 times. This is his 10th visit. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everyone's high on Pat Mahomes. He's a hell of an athlete, great quarterback, great prospect. You've got to think this kid's going places. He's already places. Exactly. There, yeah, right? That's the truth, man. But Dan Marino came on the scene. He threw for 5,000 yards in his rookie season, I think. Yeah. Went to the Super Bowl and they lost against the 49ers, and he never came back. So this guy's star has really come up quick.
Meteoric.
Yeah. 2 Super Bowls in your first 3 seasons, you're doing okay. And I mean, you got to the AFC Championship game the year before.
He's been an MVP, a Super Bowl MVP.
Exactly.
I think he's a bit. I think we're talking about talking about prime rib.
Yeah.
Versus
spot on.
Whatever Marino was. I loved Dan Marino when he was playing.
Yeah.
But to me, Mahomes is 44-9 in his 3 seasons.
He's won 25 of his last 26 games.
I think you're right. Maybe 25 of
since he started.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think you might be right. He's phenomenal, and the belief that his team has in him. They believe that he's the MVP. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP this year.
Right.
That to me was more of you've been in the league a long time. There you go.
Consolation prize for getting kicked out of the NFC Championship game.
Now let me ask you this question. Last week when Kansas City played Buffalo, where was your money?
Look, my heart was with Buffalo, but I knew Kansas City was going to win.
You don't have a heart.
Yeah. I knew Kansas City was going to win.
Did you?
Yeah.
I tipped Buffalo to win.
Really?
I had honestly thought and bought into a bit of the Buffalo shit, the hype, that for me, Josh Allen has had an incredible year.
Yeah.
And I just thought that there was no team performing better than the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And then they came up against, and if you'd have told any punter in the world, we're going to give Buffalo a 9-point start.
Jeez.
A 9-point, hey, who are you betting on? I don't know anybody that would said the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Not only did they come back, the 38-24 score flattered Buffalo.
Yeah.
It should have been. It was worse than that.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And it was because of the Kansas City defense, which is much underrated because of the limelight that shined on Mahomes.
Yeah.
And they've got Kelsey, the best. He is the best tight end in the game.
Easy. I mean, he's one of the top 3 receivers in the league, and he's a tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He had 105 catches, 15 touchdowns, 1,400 receiving yards.
That's right.
He smashed Kittle's record.
Yep.
And he didn't play game in week 16.
Right.
You know, so you're talking about a guy in his that's
in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's phenomenal. And I mean, and I think that's the thing for me, is that whole Chiefs offense is loaded with weapons.
High octane.
I mean, you've got Tyreek Hill, who's like an Olympic sprinter. You know, so you've got to like double team that guy for speed.
Well, guys on defense look like they're running in quicksand.
It really does look like that, though. I mean, usually that's just like metaphoric, but it really does look like that.
He went for 170 yards last week against Buffalo.
I mean, it's crazy. And in the game against the Bucs, I think he went for 203 yards or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So he's got incredible speed, which shapes how a defense covers him. And then you've got that big-bodied, athletic Kelsey in the middle of the field, who asks different questions of the defense.
Yeah.
And I think that's why.
So who can, you know, when I look at the defense from the Bucs, can they get enough pressure? They blitz 38.1% of the time, which makes them the 5th most pressing defense.
Todd Bowles' defense. Yep.
And you know what they did to Rodgers last week? 8 sacks. I mean, they just bitch slapped him. You know, if he was the MVP of the league, I'd like to. They absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah.
But Rodgers is no Mahomes.
Right.
He can't scramble well.
Right.
Mahomes has, I think he's got 2 eyes in his, he's got 6 eyes around his peripheral.
Yeah. And he can throw like a baseball player. He can do those sort of curveballs, underhand, whatever you want. I mean, he's incredible.
And it's effortless.
Yeah. I think the Bucs defense wins this game, to be honest with you. The Chiefs are missing their 2 starting offensive tackles. So it's a banged up offensive line. Levante David was phenomenal against Buffalo. I think he had 2 picks in that game.
Yeah. 117 sacks on the year and 3 forced fumbles.
117 tackles, yeah. 3 forced tackles. Yeah. That'd be a career. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They got Shaquille Barrett, they got JP Paul there, who was the only Pro Bowler on that defense.
Devin White,
Devin White was the guy with the picks against Buffalo. Him and Levante David, for me, are just incredible modern day inside linebackers. Can cover, can blitz, can tackle. I don't think Kansas City's defense can do to Brady what potentially that Buccaneers defense can do to Mahomes without his starting offensive tackles. And I know they've got a lot of weapons, and I know Mahomes is incredible, but everybody needs time to throw the ball, and I'm not sure.
You don't think that he'll get time?
I don't think he's going to have time. No. You know what else, Kev? I don't think that they can run the ball without their 2 starting offensive tackles like they need to.
Let me share a stat with you.
Go.
Whenever the Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes against the blitz, and for those that don't know that, when a team blitz, and Tampa Bay blitz all the time.
Correct.
Have a guess what his stats are.
Incredible. I think he loves the blitz.
13 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Jeez. Beautiful.
So,
beautiful.
You can press Mahomes all you want.
Right.
He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He's not slow on his feet. To me, Rodgers looked like he was in quicksand.
Yeah. He looked like he was 37.
He looked like he was 73. I just don't. Go on with you. You say you think the Bucs are going to win the defense.
Yeah, so
you're going to put the $3.46 million.
I'm doing it. All those mattresses are going straight on that.
Are you doing it straight out to win or with the spread?
With the spread.
Yeah. So you're going to
I'll pad it with the spread. So that when you blitz, generally you have to flip into man-to-man coverage because you don't have extra defenders.
Yeah.
And when you try cover Tyreek Hill with one guy, he's going to get open. Same for Kelsey. But if the Buccaneers come out and they zone blitz, so you have guys that hang back and cover areas of the field rather than particular players. I think there's opportunities there in the middle for Levante and for Devin White to come up with interceptions because Mahomes is going to have to get rid of that ball quickly. And if he doesn't have separation, if if Tyreek Hill isn't stepping a guy and just absolutely blitzing him into the sunset, it's going to require a different sort of finesse from those passes. I think that's the Buccaneers' best chance.
Yeah.
I think.
What about you don't rate Kansas City's defense?
I rate them. I mean, that Chris Jones in the middle is amazing.
Yeah.
But Kansas City has I think they ranked 21st in the league for stopping the run.
Yeah.
And so if Brady can get the Bucs offense rolling with the running backs, if he can get Leonard Fournette going downhill for a bit, they eat the clock. They keep Mahomes on the bench.
For
massive,
year,
huge.
Quite an established and superstar in his own right.
Absolutely, man. And he sort of took a bit of a knock. You know, had to eat some humble pie to come join the team as a second-string running back.
Yeah.
And
with Brady taking a pay cut to do that, it
exactly
sort of sets the example.
Exactly.
And it's like all about winning, isn't
right.
it?
And yeah, all these guys want to piggyback on the opportunity to get to the big dance, and that's what's happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It's for me, if I had $3.46 million to bet on the game, and I will be betting on the game, I would be betting on a straight out Kansas City win.
Right.
10,000, and I am. I'm putting 10,000 rand down to win back 16,500.
Okay.
In total. So that's my bet.
Okay.
It is the biggest bet I've made this year in the NFL. What's my strike rate on the NFL? Over 70%. 70-something%.
You're doing good.
Look, that means I lose 30 times.
Right.
You know, I don't get them all right.
Right.
I'm not Nostradamus.
That's what's great about the NFL, though, is it's almost impossible to know exactly what's happening all the time. There are a lot of leagues that are less competitive than the NFL. It's tough to be right in the NFL.
Yeah, that's why it's probably one of the most heavily gambled on sports in the world. What about the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid, Eagles guy, for many years, came out.
He was the guy that took the chance on
Don McNabb.
Yeah.
Vic.
Vic.
Yeah, you brought Vic back.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't miss with that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, Mike.
Really, arguably the greatest athlete in the history of the league there.
Yeah.
But
not really appreciated by Peter. And
no, sure, and fair enough.
Yeah.
But
and he's owned up to himself. But we're off.
Yeah.
I just think that he's going to throw so many looks and different things in this game that you can never look at an Andy Reid offense and team and go, this is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
There's going to be hits.
So many wrinkles.
Yeah.
I agree. So it certainly paid dividends, and that's for me. That's why I give Tom the edge in the Super Bowl. Is he's joined this team. He's been with them for less than a full season. They're going to a Super Bowl for the first time in 18 years, whatever it is. Yeah, since 2002. They lost, what was it, 5 games in the season.
3 of them at home, though.
Sure. But I mean, you join a new team.
Do you know what Kansas City's record was away?
Away?
Yeah.
No.
8-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is flying.
And the last time Tampa Bay lost?
It's just too good, though, Ken.
Kansas City.
Yeah. But it's too good. It's just, it can't continue forever. It's got to end somewhere. You're coming up against the GOAT with so many weapons.
Got the baby goat.
You got the baby goat. No, fair enough.
Okay, but you're on the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm on the Bucs.
I'm guaranteeing a KC win.
Love it.
Is it going to be what's the score? Are we talking about a high? Everybody's thinking a shootout. The total points on this game.
I saw it get up to 56 at one stage, 57.
Yeah, it's a tough one to get a handle on this one. Let me have a look at the points for everybody. Sorry about this. Total, including overtime, 56 and a half.
I don't think it gets that high.
Well, 55 and a half. Well, they average on the road. The Chiefs games away have averaged 54.62.
Right.
The Tampa Bay at home are 52.33. And when these guys played each other, it was 27-24.
Correct.
51.
Yep.
And around there.
Yep.
57 points is over 2 touchdowns slightly. 14 and a half points a quarter. That's a lot to do in any league. Yeah,
especially a Super Bowl. I mean, when the Patriots played the Rams, I can't remember what number Super Bowl it was, but they played the Rams. McVay's was in charge, the youngest head coach in the NFL, and I think the Rams had the top offense going into that game, and Belichick just shut them down. The final score was 13-3. I think it was 3-0 heading into the fourth quarter or something crazy like that. So The Super Bowl is a different beast. Everyone gets tight, and that's what you saw with Josh Allen 2 weeks ago with the Buffalo Bills. You go into this game, and things speed up. The occasion was too big. Yeah. And so Mahomes, obviously, this guy's shown he's got metal. This is his second Super Bowl. Brady, we know he can handle it. But still, there are other pieces to the puzzle there.
Yeah.
And apparently they're predicting thunderstorms for the Super Bowl. So you add
bolts and lightning.
Oh, there we go. Very, very frightening. Yeah. So we're expecting some weather. It's a big game. Yeah. Guys have had 2 weeks off. A bunch of guys coming back from injuries. I think it'll be. I don't think we're looking at a 13-3, but I don't think we're looking at a 38-33 game. I think low 20s.
Yeah. If I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah.
I'm going to rather put my money down and look at trading in another market, maybe depending on the ebb and flow of the game. But that's my big bet. We've talked about quarterbacks. We've talked about the defenses. We've talked about Brady. We've talked about Gisele Bundchen. And you got to have a picture up there, guys, for the lads to have a look at. This woman is Scorchio, you know. We've talked about a lot of things. We talked about, you know what we haven't talked about?
What?
If you want to go to Tampa Bay and get a ticket, you can. It's just going to cost you $1 million.
What?
The highest price ticket's going for 950,000 rand.
What?
A ticket, not a pair.
Capitalism rocks.
That's not an and one. That's a Johnny No Mates.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, man. Gee.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, crazy, man. But it was the same for the NBA final. That's the sort of level that the Americans are in terms of sports marketing and everything to other countries, and certainly rugby. Let's make some bold predictions about this game. Like these things are. Just make something off the cuff.
Okay.
Make some bold predictions for me.
Okay, so MVP for the game.
Yeah.
Historically, Tom Brady's wide receivers do well in Super Bowls. Chris Godwin has had a good season. He's a guy that's sort of come up. Mike Evans gets top billing in Tampa Bay, and Antonio Brown is a guy that his legacy sort of precedes him. But I feel like Chris Godwin could have a big game as a weapon in Brady's offense. I have a feeling about Leo Fournette, that running back. I think maybe the Bucs use that guy as a receiver out of the backfield. I know it sounds crazy. He's a huge unit, sort of runs between the tackles, but I feel like Kansas City can be beaten with those little dump-off passes in the flats. He's a big body that can get going. So I'm going to say Leonard Fournette, MVP of Super Bowl 55. He's not even the starting running back, but I'm going to go with it.
Call the police. He's gone rogue. What is the odds on him? I'm just trying to...
As an MVP?
As an MVP?
She would be huge.
It should be huge. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's go to outright. So you're thinking Fournette, eh? And NFL MVP, Fournette is 28-1.
Put the 10,000 on that, Kev. Let's do it.
My MVP will be Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think he slices and dices and...
I mean, if he cuts loose, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, Mahomes is the odds-on favorite at 1.84, but for me, I'm going with... This is a bold prediction. So I'm going to go with Tyreek. I'm going to go that he gets over 200 yards in offense in this game. Runs riot.
I mean, if that happens...
Well, it's a bold prediction, right?
It is extremely bold.
Yeah. Who's winning the coin toss?
Wow. Are we going heads or tails? No, I mean, there's a whole history with that, though. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but winning the coin tosses.
You know, the ridiculous thing is there's so many prop bets in this game. Longest touchdown scored, team to record first sack, team to win coin toss, first team field goal. I mean, it's endless. You know, to me, he's 43. Let's not forget that. You know, if he has a heavy night with Gisele the night before, he may come in drained. He's a bit slower than he was. And to me, Kansas City's defense is superb. So, Kansas City, I think Tom Brady, I'm going to predict Tom Brady gets sacked 5 times in this game.
Wow. You sure, Kev?
It's a bold prediction.
It is incredibly bold. Yeah. Wow, okay. I mean, so I've got MVP, the second string running back. Yeah. You got Tyreek Hill there as MVP. I'm just trying to think what else we could go with there. I mean, we could say we could say Gronkowski outplays Travis Kelce. That'd be pretty bold.
Or stupid.
Oh, probably closer to the second, to the latter.
Well, it's a bold prediction.
Yeah, it is bold.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, for the Bucs to win, two things need to happen. The defense needs to be on song.
Yeah.
And Brady needs to have, or Fournette needs to have a good game.
Yeah.
You know, because if the Bucs get behind, which may not happen because the Chiefs are notoriously slow starters.
Yeah.
But if Brady gets behind, you'll be looking at...
No, they won't catch him.
You'll be looking at 50, 55 pass attempts in this game from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they can beat the Chiefs in a shootout. But historically, when the Chiefs are held to low-scoring games where it isn't a shootout, you know, when they're forced to punt, I mean, that sort of goes without saying, but when a game is slower and is not a shootout, the Chiefs, they struggle to feature. I mean, when I say struggle to feature, the guy's won 25 of his last 26 games. I'm just saying those are games where it's tight for them. I think if the Bucs get that ground game going, chew up the clock, keep Mahomes on the sideline, force that Kansas City defense to get nice and close to the line and nice and tight. Brady on play action to Antonio Brown. Low volume of passes for Brady, but the key is getting that running game going, just to chew up the clock and limit Kansas City's offense. Whether they can do that or not, I don't know. They struggled last week running first, or when I say last week in the AFC Championship game, they struggled to get the ground game going. And that's why I think they might use Leo Fournette out of the backfield and a sort of passing option.
Yeah, look, it'll be a fantastic game, whatever happens. I hope it is.
I think it will. I can't see it being a low-scoring grind.
No, it's not in the nature.
No.
It's not in the nature.
No.
It should be one hell of a weekend. Expect some trick plays from Andy Reid.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the odd flea flicker. You know, someone else in to the running back, throw downfield to Tyreek Hill for.
That could happen.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I expect at least one. I expect 2 trick plays from Kansas City in this game.
Okay. I don't think we'll see trick plays from the Bucs though. I don't think we're going to have a repeat of the Nick Foles touchdown run from Tom Brady.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is Mahomes going to get intercepted?
Yes.
Now that is ballsy because he's thrown 566 passes this year and been intercepted 6 times.
He's going to turn the ball over twice, Kev.
Wow.
Devin White and Levante David in the slot, covering the slot receiver, they're going to be in there.
He'll turn it over twice to some guy that keeps his memorabilia. Here's my predictions. There's at least 2 trick plays, one which results in a touchdown for Kansas City. Yeah, Tyreek Hill is going to go over 200 yards in total offense. You're going to have Mahomes throw 4 touchdown passes.
Wow.
And the Kansas City Chiefs win this game by 15 plus.
That is insane.
I am insane.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I mean, that would make for a great game. And certainly in terms
Not
of...
for you.
No, but I mean...
Not for you, 3.46
yeah, sure. Million. I can lose it. Yeah. But I think it'll make for a great spectacle. And I think also in terms of like the legacy of quarterbacks, that'll be a real...
That will be the handing over.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's... So you get his 2nd Super Bowl ring. Brady's got 6. He's got 4 more to gain to match Brady. And he's probably got 15 years left in his career.
Maybe they come up with a song like... Baby goat.
Oh my goodness, let's hope not.
Z, thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. It's been great. Thanks very much.
Cool.